only Springfield situation, or are you going to look into the broader scope of other cities?
I think the mayor explained that. I think in his involvement with the municipal league that there are a lot of other cities that are going to be looking probably more at what Springfield comes up with than Chicago, because they have a little more in common with us. So I think there'll be a little added pressure in that the rest of the state's going to be looking over our shoulder and what we come up with, as Springfield serves as sort of a model for that. But I think we're going to have to be creative. I mean, we just can't go back to the same 2 or 3 solutions that have been bandied around in the past, and I think we need to come up with some new ideas, and that may be something that Peoria or Macomb or Quincy or whomever has considered, or something that hasn't been considered anywhere in the state. So it's kind of a combination of a lot of things in my mind.
Your charge is just to look at the city itself and look at what
Strictly City of Springfield and the City of Springfield's pension problems with recommendations to the mayor and the Springfield City Council.
And what's your current your lobbying firm called?
I have my own firm, Timothy S. BRAMLETT Consulting, and I have a number of clients. My biggest client is the Illinois Beverage Association, which are all the soft drinks in the state.
Sorry, I forgot the plug. Sorry, Tim.
What's your timeline to produce a report?
This summer, I believe, sometime early summer.
I don't want to put anybody in a time frame.
I think the whole idea would be that this would be geared towards the next fiscal year, which would be work on that begins in late summer or fall.
How come you decided to take this on?
The mayor's pretty persuasive.
Mr. Mayor, isn't the problem relative to the legislative mandates is that they will vote to increase benefits, say to spouses of firefighters, and the city then has to be paying those benefits where no money has been set aside heretofore for those benefits. Is that the nature of the issue?
Absolutely.
When that mandate is passed, then you will have an automatic, say, 15 or 20 years of unfunded liabilities.
Absolutely, but that's only one piece of legislation. There's a number of pieces of legislation that have passed that affect us and affect that pension bill that we have to pay every year. That's certainly one of them, but it's any of them. Right now I know that there's legislation that's going to be heard this week and in committee that may or may not affect the city of Springfield, but it's an increase of benefits to firefighters that retired prior to 1971, which basically, whether it affects Springfield, it's going to affect some community to some degree, but it does raise their pension benefit from firefighters that have been gone since 1971. Again, not opposed to that whatsoever, but I think they need to certainly set aside the money and find the sources if they're going to do that, or at least let the taxpayers, as they will know in the city of Springfield, and I don't know how the other municipalities are going to do it, but our taxpayers are going to know exactly what this legislation means to them, because they're the ones that are going to have to foot the bill, and we're only going to be the messenger.
To what extent can you give us a progression of when you look at the budgets from past years and then looking forward, what percentage of the budget your pension payments have been and where you foresee them to go to?
I know that I know we have a full report on this, and it's put out, and we don't have it here with us, but we've done this with a number of other press conferences, and I apologize for not bringing that here today, but I think probably since I've gotten here in the last 5 years, it's probably gone up about 65%, and it's just it's not stopping, and it becomes progressive, and more legislation continues to be proposed. And at some point, what's happening is that our levy, at least here in Springfield, and perhaps not in other communities, and that's one of the things I know that we talked about, is that our levy has remained level. Since 1984, our levy has remained at $1 until the merger of the Recreation Department and the Park District, when our levy dropped to 0.9365, and that's remained level, even though our wages have continued to go up at 3.5% a year, and all the benefits have gone up with the unfunded state mandates. So we have all this liability, and as I said, from last year, we were at $115 million of unfunded liability. We left our levy the same again for this year, and that added another $8 million of really unfunded liability to our funds. So every year, it's growing and growing and growing, and it's just got to stop sometime.
Mayor, there's a House Bill 4609 that was introduced by Representative Seisha, who would put the dispatchers into the police pension fund. Would that affect
Yeah.
the city? Well, I'm asking
I don't know if the financial impact has been done, but anything that puts them into it. I mean, We have comparisons out there, and you have them in your hands right now, I think at about on page 3 of the more thicker report put out by the Only Municipal League. They show the difference in what the benefits are from a lot of state employees that will receive IMRF compared to the police or the fire pension fund. And the benefits are astronomical. I mean, it's unbelievable, the benefits that they're able to receive. And again, we're not here to take anything away from them. It's just that if you're going to pass that on, you've got to find the money for it.
Well, the reason I ask is because the dispatchers are not city employees necessarily.
No, they're not.
Do you know whether that would make them?
Well, I don't know without that piece of legislation, but right now they're actually under IMRF. So that's and similar to a lot of other communities like the Sangamon County Sheriff's Office, which is under IMRF. Totally different benefits, and I think you'll see on page 3 or 5 exactly what that means to them.
You just said the legislation coming up for the 1971 retirees that you wouldn't oppose it, but didn't you say at the Citizens Club that you would oppose new benefits and come over here and talk?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not opposed to taking anything away from anyone. I'm opposed to adding any liability to us. Here's a situation. Perfect situation is I think it's 4644. That'll be heard Wednesday in committee. I think is that the right number? 4644 increases the pensions for those that retired prior to 1971. We may not have anyone that is still receiving their benefits prior to 1971. It's still an unfunded state mandate. I'm opposed to anything that they do without giving us the funding for that source.
And by the way, at the beginning of this press conference, you said you stressed you're not taking anything away. You were pretty colorful in your language.
Yeah.
That other thing about people looking for a sick leave firefighter to marry benefits to their next husbands. Somebody gets you from the firefighter gets you in the corner and tell you to cool it, or is that just your own?
Oh no, I mean I think that it's I don't think everyone understands. As a matter of fact, I don't even think our local firefighters really understood that benefit. I have had some very interesting conversations with firefighters that I had to explain their benefits to them. So I'm not sure they know what goes on in this building right here that have affected them. And one firefighter even said, perhaps we have bit off more than what we should have been able to chew. So not taking anything back at all. I think that there are benefits for any one of us in this room. There aren't a policeman or a fireman. You'll never come close to the benefit that they have. And we're not taking anything away from them. They have great lobbyists. It just got to stop. The unfunded state mandates have got to stop in the future. And I'll be here every day that I can to make sure that they explain what the situation is. And this is real life stuff that we've got to pass on to our taxpayers in the city of Springfield.
And just given that you've talked a lot about this lately, so we're clearly talking about some kind of tax increase. Does the fact that you've only been in office your second term for a year make it easier to do this now, early in the second term, or this political capital you have?
No, I don't look at that at all. I think that those of us that sit in my position, whether I've only been on the job for a year or now the 5th year, I think I understand the pension situation so much greater today than I understood it 12 or 24 months ago. I don't think until this report that just came out that we really understood it from the Only Municipal League, or the report, as many of you have seen, that the Commissioner on Governmental Forecasting and Accountability put out, and exactly how it affects city taxpayers. I don't think we really understood the severity of it until then. And I'll just say this: I'm on the bandwagon. It's got to stop somewhere, and it starts in this building.